This content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. The Better Traders is not a broker dealer. We are not an investment advisor. We have no access to non public information about publicly traded companies or cryptocurrencies. And this is not a place for the giving or receiving of financial advice, advice concerning investment decisions, or tax or legal advice. The value of investments and the income derived from them can go down as well as up. Investors may not get back the amount they invested, and past performance is not a guide to future performance.
Hey everyone, what's up? It's me, Moon and Papa, and you're watching my live stream an hour earlier. I had to change my plans for today, so I'm doing this live stream an hour early. So hopefully that doesn't mess things up too much for all of you that like to join me live. So I want to get right into it. We're going to look right at Bitcoin, and I got a couple of other things to say, but I'm going to make this just straight and narrow and to the point. So Bitcoin is in a wedge formation. A wedge formation is typically an inconclusive time of debate. Bulls and bears are trying to figure out, is the price going to go up or is it going to go down? And you can see this is a pretty terribly crude drawing of a wedge, but essentially this is where we are, right? So it's not looking like it's super decisive yet. We saw it expand, and we saw it expand again, and we saw it expand again. This is just really crude because it's a lot easier to draw it this way. I actually drew it off of the 4-hour time frame originally, going off of these candle closes. So again, it's not the best situation for anyone, honestly, because this is one of the hardest charts to trade if you don't know how to use or read this kind of stuff. And I'm not saying I'm a professional, a doctor professional. Anyone that used to watch Strong Bad? Any Strong Bad OGs out there? Doctor professional. Sorry, can't help it. So one thing I do want to say though is that typically these good grief, I just started thinking about Strong Bad. Sorry, if you don't know Strong Bad, you can look them up. It's okay. It's not going to be funny to everybody, and it's fine. So this wedge, good grief, this wedge, most people see this as a point of indecision. Not necessarily. Usually the way wedges work is that, yes, there is indecision when it's perfectly symmetrical. For instance, when it's basically like this, and it's not leaning to one side or the other side. If we see wedges that are like this is bearish. If we see wedges like this is bullish. So our wedge right now pretty much looks like a less than sign, or is that a greater than sign? Greater than sign. I can do math, don't worry. So the thing about this though that people need to take into consideration, which I'm not seeing, is that if we're coming down into a move like this, then more likely we're going to break to the downside. I'm not looking at a measured move at all. I don't think we're going to see something like that. But all this to say that I don't think that we're going to have this big recovery. I talked about it a little bit last time, and it, like I said before, and I'll say it again, it makes complete sense for the price to come up and touch where the TBO fast line is. But you'll see that it's, if the price came even right now to the TBO fast line, this pink line that's right here, the TBO indicator, this line is below this resistance right here. So it's not bullish. I mean, if it breaks out, then that means that we would take this and we'd have to move it up a little bit higher. But when we zoom out, nothing's changed. It still looks bad. So I am of the opinion that, oh, let me do this. There we go. I'm of the opinion that we're heading down. I've never seen Bitcoin be this restricted as well. It's been really weird to see it in a 9% zone for 2 weeks, essentially. Really odd, especially after a pretty big move down. I understand the arguments that people might have where they're thinking and feeling like, well, Bitcoin has had so many red candles in a row. That's true. We have had, and we'll start from here. So this is our first one. We've closed 7 red weekly candles in a row. and we're on 8. So I get the argument that, well, we've never done that before, so we should see a green candle soon. You know what? You're right. Odds would say, if we were like a betting person, that, well, we've had so many, we have to see a change in it. In the same way where if we see so many green candles in a row, there has to be a pullback, right? Do you hear the inconsistency with this? Where is this mentality of, because we've had so many, now it has to change? No. Trend following. I have this book up here for good reason. The Trending Breakout Indicator, the TBO, is titled as such for very good reason, because the trend is your friend. And maybe you don't feel like the trend is your friend right now because Bitcoin's had so many red candles, but honestly, on the daily time frame, the trend has been your friend for quite a while. Even just using the daily time frame, if you followed the TBO and you went short here at 40K, you would be at 26% profit without leverage. Even if you sold here at 40K, you would be able to buy Bitcoin at a 26% discount. Win, win. So this whole idea of just because it hasn't happened before and it has to change. No, it doesn't have to change. It makes more sense for it to continue going red because that's the trend. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about on the flip side. So perma bulls, or rather perma bears, we should say. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of green candles. We have to have a red candle. Oh, this is it. We've topped out. We're going down. But if we zoom out, no, we keep going. I wouldn't even count these as red candles, to be honest. We really stop here after 13 bars of upward momentum. It's impressive. It really is 13 weeks of green. I don't even count these because the candles are so tiny and thin. Just because we've had X number of candles that are a certain color, it doesn't matter. If the trend is moving down, then it's moving down. It'll continue to move down until we bottom out. So, talked about this before. I had a video recently about this. It actually doesn't hurt to point out which one. So over here on YouTube, this one, 20K Bitcoin capitulation. Watch this video if you're still unsure if we have capitulated yet. In my opinion, no, we haven't. In my opinion, we're seeing lots of these Bitcoin bull traps that I talked about with Gareth Soloway, who's a fantastic trader. So when I'm looking at the chart, just because we've seen so many red candles, and this is true, this is the longest string of consecutive red candles we've ever seen. I get it. But just because we've had so many, does that mean that we should really see it turn around? No, not in my opinion. Just because it's happened doesn't mean that we should see it go green. If anything, we should see it continue, to be honest, for lots of reasons that I've said before in previous live streams and videos here. So, but like I said, seeing a recovery up, a small one to 31K. Let me actually go back to the daily time frame. So, I'm sorry, the weekly time frame. So if we were to break this, we would have to close at 31 for the week. Or right here, right? Let me go. Yeah, we would have to close here at 31K. Right there to close green for the week. If we close like this, and this isn't red, and let me get out my marker tool. I'm gonna do this very crudely. Oh, that looks so bad. Let me do a shape instead. All right. Oh, it's not even gonna let me do it the way I want to do it. All right, so let's say that this is a green candle, and I need to change the transparency because that's bothering my senses. There we go. Big fat green candle. Okay, wonderful. If this turns out to be a green candle right here, then what we actually have, this would be our capitulation bounce, kind of. It would look like this. This is what I'm expecting it to do if it closes at 31 at the end of the week, where we'd have a green close. We'd probably move up a little bit higher before moving down again. I just don't see any arguments or anything on the chart that's telling me, oh, we're done. Like, that's it, game over. So I don't see anything like that happening. But if we do close green, yes, we will see a little bit of a move up, probably to 36K, maybe even here to 34K, and then we'll just go sideways. It breaks my thesis though, and I'm not going to be stubborn, but I'm still expecting the price to fall down to 20K. And I think that we're supposed to bottom out by the 2nd or the 3rd week of June. So somewhere in this range, I'm expecting us to bottom out. From where we are right now, that is 12 days away, and it could be 25 days away. So like a month from now, I think we'll bottom out. If we do, and it goes all to schedule like that, then that means BTC is going to drop down to about 20K or so, and then that's the bottom. That'd be amazing. It never ever goes exactly the way you want it to, but it would be amazing. Yep. Okay. So I want to keep moving through, and let's talk about Ethereum. Ethereum is in much worse shape right now. It does not look good at all, mainly because we have a wedge right here, but this wedge is in a much worse state where we have a declining high, we have lower highs, and we have our support right here. And I've talked about this a lot in the Better Traders Club about having so many touches on one side where it's one-sided. We have lots of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 touches on the lower side of this, but only 1 and 2 touches up here. So it makes more sense for us to break support, to fall lower, than it does for us to see the price to go up. If we go to our weekly candles, we finished 6 bars of red candles. We're on number 7. It doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. What could change this? Ethereum 2.0. Ethereum 2.0 launching could possibly change it, and that would bring demand back to the market. But right now, it doesn't look strong. Okay, so moving back, let's talk about Tron. So if you watched last week's live stream, I shared Tron 7 days ago, right here. So the good news is that 7 days ago, well, from then, Tron is up 16%. Not amazing, but considering everything else in the market right now, Tron's doing really well. I talked about this last time. People in the Better Traders Club know exactly why. This is one trade that I actually have going right now I've been waiting on it to do something. I just want to make a quick point about Tron in that just because you may not agree with the founder or the protocol or whatever problems you're trying to solve, doesn't mean that the chart won't go up. So many charts have incredible pumpamentals, things that just make the charts pump. What you'll see happen is when Bitcoin takes a drop to 20K, there will be some charts that are going to shoot up, mainly on the BTC charts, because their value won't drop as much as Bitcoin. So it'll look like they're moving up higher. People will buy those with their Bitcoin to make money on the fall down. It's not going to be a sustainable move up, but I'm saying that because that's kind of what I'm seeing here with Tron. If you think about Bitcoin's price action over the last week or so, let's go ahead and compare. This would be a lot easier. Where is it? Here we go. New price scale. And I need to get rid of a lot of stuff just so it's a lot easier to see. There we go. Okay, so check it out. This is what I'm talking about. It's really interesting because, yes, Tron has been pretty much doing whatever it wants, right? So here's July 2021. Bitcoin moves up, Tron moves up as well. Let's keep going. So Tron falls first, and it falls harder when Bitcoin falls. But then when it's stable, Tron moves up. So now the market's fallen down. It's very similar to Bitcoin's price action, right? So the orange line is Bitcoin, by the way, but it's not exactly the same. So check this out. All of a sudden, when Bitcoin fell, look what happened to Tron. Really weird. Really, really, really weird. How basically it decoupled. When Bitcoin was falling, it started to pump right about here on the 21st of April. And ever since then, it's been up about 35% compared to Bitcoin falling from 41K down to 30K. It's been a pretty rough fall for BTC. So it's been a 25% fall, but conversely, Tron is up 36%. Why? I don't know. I mean, Justin Sun he loves to shill. He loves to talk about his token all the time. But it's not so much as why is it doing this? It's just that there will be coins that pump and moon when Bitcoin is dropping. And Tron just happens to be one of them right now. Will it be the same for every single time this happens? No. It might be another token. It might be another chart. It might be another coin, whatever. The thing to know is that, the thing to keep in mind rather, is that when Bitcoin's bearish, doesn't mean that everything's going to follow it and be bearish. Just keep your eyes open. Look at charts. There are ways to hedge your portfolio and to buy tokens that are moving up, buy coins that are moving up. It's a great way to protect yourself. So let's keep going, and we're going to talk about DAPT, mainly because I made a video about it yesterday. Is that what I did? Yes, AB trading update was 10 hours ago. Well, for me is yesterday, but you know what I mean. So I talked about this. Let me do this. Cool. So I drew this line yesterday saying that I'm feeling a little bearish on DAPT. And it's amazing because here at 1 o'clock yesterday, it did have a close long alert here on the TBO. That's what this blue diamond is. It's letting us know that the trend, well, it means one of two things. Either the trend is almost over, or take some profits because it could move up higher again. So it has two different meanings. So whenever I see 3, and this happened at 1 in the morning, I would not have seen that. This is happening right now. So this is news to me, but seeing 3 of these in a row on the 4-hour isn't good. Usually they mean, well, our trend is done. If we can go back in time a little bit so I can find another example of this after a good move up. Okay, so here we go. We have 3, and now the price is starting to sag. The thing that would change it would be one of these guys. Well, first we need to see an open short. Then we need to see some of these are closed shorts. So this is the opposite of a closed short. So where are we going next? Well, I pointed out that we can use the fib lines to help us figure out where to place some orders. So based on that, it looks like it could find support at 306. To be honest, I doubt it, mainly because it's moved up so much. It's moved up 47%. It even pumped as high as what? 230%. It's exhausted. There's no volume. It makes sense for it to fall a lot further, more like into this 250 range or even back down here. I know, not the most exciting thing you want to hear, but this is why you take profits on the way up. This is why you don't hodl. Hodling is not trading. That's investing. And if you're really going to hodl, stop looking at charts. But if you're going to trade like I do, you need to look at charts. It takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it for your portfolio. So to me, the chart looks toast. It looks like it's done. It's made a good move up. I mean, how can you really argue with the move? We'll just do the closed candle. 50% up in 11 days is incredible. That's a great move. So we've broken this trend line. It makes more sense for it to fall. And check it out. Now we have a new trend line. Do you see it? Okay, let me help you see it right now. So I'm going to add my lines. We're going to do this. So we have a trend line right here, and now we're going to put it right there. So now we have a trend line. I moved it because here it actually closed. Well, actually it closed below it. It closed below, closed below. Let me go to the 4-hour. Yeah. Kind of, sort of. Kind of, sort of. Let me do it like this. There we go. Yeah, not buying it. I mean, we're seeing it on top a little bit right now, but it's not good enough for me. It would make more sense to close below this today. So because that's bearish, I'm going to move this up higher, and now we have a clear point of resistance, this white line right here, which we should probably make it bright red. And this is our support line right here, which we should make bright green, but now it's broken. So what now? Well, now is when you take the time to learn how to draw your support and resistance lines, like I teach in account builders, like I teach in 15 minutes, like I teach in the Smarter Trader. And just wait, just be patient. So I'm not in a rush, but it's going well. I'm just waiting for the price to fall. So I'm not holding anything. I'm just waiting. And you'd be surprised, AB traders and traders in general, with the activity that AB trading can activity that AB trading can provide. It can produce. Sometimes you're going to wait. Sometimes you're going to wait a while, especially if you're just doing fat finger fishing, when you're waiting for charts to take a big, huge dump and then recover quickly. That one's the slowest, but safest. So when we're looking at a chart like this and you're wanting to trade it, there's no real rush. Looking at a 30-minute time frame, yeah, you could take quick little profits, but again, when it's falling, you want to be really careful because you want to be aware of the trend, and the trend can change very, very, very quickly. So right now we're looking at a trend like this, but this is not reliable, not at all, because 30 minutes is no good for a chart like this that's so spotty. So right now I'm waiting. Fibs are great. Fibs can help. So around 250 or so, and down here around 216. But at the same time, I mean, we also have the TBO to help us. There we go. So if we go to the 4-hour time frame, we can see strong support here at 216. That makes sense. We can also see strong resistance up here at 635. So right now, doesn't look strong. It makes more sense for this chart to fall down to these levels, down here again. But that's great though, because this is what AB trading is all about. You wait till the price falls, you buy some, and then you can wait for the next pump. I mean, this is how you grow your account with AB trading. All right. So I got a few more minutes left. I want to draw your eyes to something real quick. So today is the last day that we are having our 50/50 flash crash sale. So this is 50% off Mastering Passive Income. This is our advanced bot trading course, and it has I teach this TBO switch, the golden ratio, the DCA Backtester Pro, private Discord, one-on-one coaching, 6 months of the TBO Pro, and the backtest scraper. There's a lot of stuff. So if you're interested in that, head on over to thebettertraders.com. You'll see it right here on the landing page. But again, it ends today, Thursday. So just wanted to let you know, fair warning. There are some other offers as well, but I'm just going to let you click on that link if you want to, and then you can put one and one together and figure out if that's a good idea for you. So let me go ahead and look at the comments real quick. So first off, thanks for hanging out with me. I know it's like, it shouldn't be this early, but it is. But I see one question from Vincent Barba. So I hope you and your family are well. They are. How long do you think the Luna USDT pair chart will keep giving? What signs should we look for to close our long bots for this pair? Good idea. Let's go ahead and take a look at that chart on TradingView. Okay, so looking at the, here we go, 30-minute time frame, which I think is better to look at. It did move up. I'm so frustrated, by the way. I had my bots take profit. You can see here the high was 203. Mine was at 2037. So it completely missed it. So frustrating. Anyway, so how long do I think it will keep giving? You know what? I don't know. It'll keep giving until it stops. The way that I know a chart has stopped giving is that the volatility has died. It's not doing any up and downs anymore. It's not doing any big recoveries. It's just kind of staying in a really tight, boring range, and the volume dies down. So let's take a look at first the volume. So when we look at the volume overall since it dropped, so volume's fallen a lot, but we can see bursts of it here. We see bursts of it here, bursts of it here. So far, this chart looks okay still. There's still a lot of trading volume. Another thing that I'll look at is the price moving sideways? Is the price basically confined to a fixed range where it's not too exciting anymore? So let's take a look and measure the range. So we're looking at a range, and we'll take this line from right here to here. So this is a range of 100%. It's gone as high as 285%. So right now it's died down. It's constricting a little bit, and that's okay. So far though, I mean, if we look at this, more often than not, the price is above this middle line. Let me get rid of those two trend lines because I think that's a little bit confusing. There we go. So if we look at this, how much of the time is the chart for Luna above the middle part of this line, of this range? A lot. It's only down here maybe, I would say 35% of the time, 40% of the time. It's not a lot. And the extremes of it going way above this range are much more frequent than it is for it to fall down. So right now, I think it's in a good range. When you know, or rather, I think that it will be done, and I need to use some lines because the lines are going to help me. The TBO is going to help me, right? Because we need to use these tools to help us make better decisions. So this trend line right here, this is our sauce. This is what we have to use. Actually, let me go to a longer time frame. There we go. I just don't want to keep going back and forth. There we go. So we got our 4-hour time frame. Nice. And we got this. It broke above, it broke above, it broke above, it broke above, it broke above. And now we got this. It peaked above again. So this to me is bullish. Believe it or not, this chart to me is still bullish. And the reason why it's bullish to me is because, good grief, it's dropped so far. The reason why it's still bullish is that you can see what I just did there, right? Like when I look at the price right here, does the price break above? Yep, it broke above. Does the price break above? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And this is where it really took a drop, but did it break above? Yeah, it did. Even here, it broke above. So more often than not, when we see the price breaking above these resistance lines, this is a good sign right here. Broke above right there. So it broke above again. So I'll stop saying broke above, broke above. So I think that the chart is still giving. I still think that it's okay. It's very volatile still, but I mean, and we could still see a drop down of 40%, right, to this support line that the TBO is so excellently drawn out at 0.0001. But I think that there's still volume. I think that there's still trading activity left in this chart. So I'm leaving my bot running because I still think that there's a good chance that this could still give. So to close with a little bit more clarity, I don't think that was super clear. But again, I keep an eye on volume. Has volume died down completely, as in like it flatlines? No, 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 no. Has the price action gotten into a really, really tight range of like 20%? No. And we've also used our trend lines to establish the fact that it keeps making new highs. It keeps breaking out. That's good as well. So there you go. That's my answer on Luna. I'm still running my bot, and I did lower my take profit because I just want to close a trade so that way it can start again, because I want to free up my safety trades so that way if the price falls, I want to be able to take advantage of that negative price action for safety trades and stuff like that. Okay, awesome. Well, again, I'm expecting Bitcoin to make a further move to the downside. It could very well make a little bit of a recovery today, tomorrow, this weekend, but in my opinion, it has a higher probability of falling lower. And I'm still waiting for it, or rather expecting it to bottom out by the end of this first or second week of June next month. So pretty soon. I could be wrong, but that's kind of how things are looking to me when I look at price action, when I look at the TBO, the patterns. I've talked about it before in the previous live streams, and I talk about it a lot in the Better Traders Club, which I think we have a live stream coming up soon. I should check my calendar. But either way, we have live streams every other week where I do in-depth BTC analysis, crypto market rather, and even the traditional markets, lots of fun stuff like that. So take advantage of that 50/50 flash crash sale. And until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.